Hi guys, my name is Unique. Welcome to the channel. If you are new here, then you should know that the content covered on this channel is of financial literacy and Canadian immigration. If you feel as though this content may be for you, then please remember to comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. And do not forget to hit that notification bell so you will be the first to know whenever there's a new video uploaded. If you are already an existing subscriber, welcome back, guys. So today's video we are going to be focusing on immigration. Super excited. For the month of November, pretty much 98% of the content that I put out was covering financial literacy due to the fact that it was Financial Literacy Month here in Canada. However, today's video we're going to be focusing on immigration. The last video that I did in regards to immigration was a part 1 video letting people know how they can make a refugee claim or sponsor a refugee outside of Canada. So today's video is going to be part 2 to that video, and we will be for how a person can make a refugee claim within Canada. So stay tuned, guys, and I'll see you in a bit. Today's video is going to be focusing on how a person can make a refugee claim within Canada. Okay, so the first thing to know is that Canada offers refugee protection for some people in Canada. You may be saying, what the hell, what do you mean some people? Why not everyone? So here's the thing. Canada only offers refugee protection to those who they feel need it, and they look at 3 things. So that person has to fall into either the category of someone that is fleeing their country due to the fear of being tortured, or someone that's fleeing their country due to the risk to their lives, or someone fleeing their country due to a risk of unusual or cruel punishment. Okay, so when we say some people, these people would be classed in this category here. Okay, so Canada has 2 types of refugees here. The first one is known as a conventional refugee. When we speak of conventional refugees, these are persons who have fled their home or anywhere that they have lived due to the fear of persecution, and they cannot return as a result of that. And the fear of persecution would have to fall under categories, 1 of 5 categories. So that would be they're fleeing from their country due to fear of persecution because of their race, because of their religion, because of their nationality, because of their political opinion, or because of their social group. And when we talk about social group, this would be, for example, people who are, you know, of a specific sexual orientation. You know, in some countries homosexuality is considered illegal, and as a result you'll have people who flee from their country because of this. So that person could make a refugee claim under that basis, that they're fleeing their country for fear of persecution due to their social group, which would be due to their sexual orientation. Okay, there is something that is called an IFA, and I will explain. So if you're the person that is looking to make a refugee claim as a conventional refugee, or you know, you're fleeing persecution, when we speak of a IFA, so an IFA is known as an internal flight alternative. What happens when a person is fleeing their country due to fear of persecution for any of the 5 categories that I listed? They would have to show proof that there was nowhere else within their country that they were able to relocate to, that they would be like protected, right? So that's known as an internal flight alternative. These are the questions that they ask, or they'll be looking at when you submit a refugee claim, and it's up to you to show proof that nope, there was no other place within this country that I could move, you know, where I wouldn't have to worry about the rest of my life or being tortured or having to face cruel or unusual punishment. So if you can prove all those things, it makes your case even stronger. However, you should also note that there are other things that they look at as well. I won't get into full detail detail on what those things are because I don't want to bore you guys to death. Okay, so the second type of refugee is considered as a protected person or a person in need of protection. So these are people who have fled their countries or can't return to their country due to a legitimate fear of being tortured, risk to their lives, risk in possibly facing cruel or unusual punishment. So there's two types of refugees in Canada. You have a conventional refugee, and I explain to you what a conventional refugee is, and there's a person in need of protection, which is a second form of refugee or protected person. Okay, so this is the second form of refugee. Okay, so I am going to quickly show you guys on the Citizenship and Immigration website how you can make a refugee claim and how you can access the different forms that you will need to complete in order to have a complete application package. Okay, so stay tuned. So as you guys can see, I am selecting Immigration and Citizenship Canada, and I'm just gonna go directly to where you can go to find all the forms regarding a refugee. Okay, and we're just going to select claim refugee protection from inside Canada. Okay, so if you actually take the time to go through this website here specifically for the how to make a claim for refugee status within Canada, you will see that a lot of the things that I made reference to, you'll also be able to find that information here as well. And we're just going to go to how to apply. And then after you select how to apply, you are going to scroll down. So when it comes to a refugee claim, you can actually make a refugee claim two ways. The first way, you can make a claim by email, so that way you're able to manage your claim online. And I'm just going to scroll down here and you'll be able to see that as well. So you can see here, it tells you decide how to start your claim because there's two ways you can make that claim, okay? Also, one thing I forgot to inform you guys as well. If you're making a claim for refugee status at a port of entry, you can also apply to work and study at the same time while you're waiting for your claim to be heard and possibly receive a positive review. Okay. You can see here it tells you what you need to do. You need to send them an email to start the refugee claim, and it gives you all the information here in the body of what you would need. So if you're a person that is looking to do this, please make sure you read this area carefully in order to submit all the information that they require, okay? And they even show you the email address of where you will be sending your claim to. And if you scroll down, we are going to select complete all forms in the application package, just so you guys are aware. So as you can see, it has brought us to the information that is needed for the application package. And as you can see here, everything is here: the document checklist, generic application form for Canada, pretty much all of these things that you will need. Okay, so I've shown you guys how to find this information. So now I'm just going to go back, and we're just going to scroll down, because the second option of making a refugee claim at the port of entry, as you can see, the information is right here, and it tells you how you can go about doing so. Like I said, if you're a person that is thinking of making a refugee claim, please read the information in its entirety, so that way when you submit your application package, there is no information that is missing, because missing information or incorrect information can cause your application to be delayed. When you show up to make a claim at a port of entry, they will have all the necessary documents that you need in order to make that claim. Hey guys, so the next thing that you will need to be familiar with, especially if you are someone that is living in the United States of America and you are trying to come into Canada by making a refugee claim at the Canadian border. So there's something that is called a safe third country agreement. So Canada and America have an existing agreement that states that anyone from America coming to the US Canadian border will not be eligible to make a refugee claim. You can't make a claim, okay? The reason being is because they consider America as a first safe country, and the refugee claim would have to have been made in the first safe country that you arrive in. However, there are some exceptions, and I will get into what those exceptions are. There's 4 categories of exceptions. When I say exceptions, I mean people who are exempt from this safe third country agreement between US and Canada. So the first type of exception for the safe third country agreement is the family member. So if you are a person that's at the US-Canada border and you are trying to make a refugee claim, and you actually have a relative living in Canada that is a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident, or holds a valid study permit or a valid work permit, or was granted status in the country from a refugee claim that they made, or a humanitarian compassionate claim that they made, or they submitted a refugee claim that is being considered by the Immigration and Refugee Board, then you will be exempt from this, and you will actually be able to make a claim at the US-Canada border. Okay, so the second category are minors, and when I say minors, they are specifically classed as unaccompanied minors. So this would be someone that's at the US-Canada border, obviously under the age of 18, and they are not being accompanied by a father, a mother, or a legal guardian, or they have no living legal guardian or parent in America or Canada. Then that unaccompanied minor will be exempt, and they will actually indeed be able to make a refugee claim at the US-Canada border. That unaccompanied minor cannot be in a common law relationship. They obviously can't be married, they can't be in a conjugal relationship. The third category of persons that would be exempt from the safe third country agreement are document holders. So these are people who hold a valid work permit in Canada, or hold a valid study permit, or someone that holds a Canadian visa or any other travel document that has been approved. The fourth exception to this safe third country agreement are called, or they're people who are labeled as public interest. So this one is a little bit tricky because there's multiple parts to it. So normally someone that would be considered a public interest, for example, someone who is fleeing the United States because they may have committed a crime and they may be subjected to the death penalty, and that person would then be actually able to make a refugee claim at the US-Canada border. However, the tricky part to this though is a person can be deemed inadmissible if they have a criminal record, or a criminal, like a severe criminal record, and depending on the crime that they committed as well, if it's also considered a crime in Canada, if they have breached security, if they've breached like human rights. So you can see how this category is a bit trickier than the others, because you could be fleeing because you may be subject to the death penalty. However, the question then to ask is, what type of crime did you commit while you're facing the death penalty, right? Because then that would tell me that, okay, the chances of you being inadmissible are likely. I'd say 60-70% chance likely. Also, someone that is being deported from America, and upon traveling back to their country, like say for example they have to do like a connection flight, and that layer of a flight is in Canada, that person is now within Canada, and they are at a port of entry of Canada, and they would then be able to make a refugee claim as well, because you're being deported from America. Okay, so for people who are trying to cross the US-Canada border and trying to make a refugee claim as like the end goal, what a lot of people have done, because they realize that they cannot make a refugee claim, is they enter the country illegally. Once you have physically entered the country, you are able to make a refugee claim. So the rules at the US-Canada border no longer applies, like that you're not eligible to make a claim. The fact that you're physically in the country means that you can make a refugee claim. However, it doesn't change the rules surrounding the Safe Third Country Agreement. The chances of your refugee claim being denied is highly likely, because they're going to look at America was the first safe country that you landed in, therefore your refugee claim should have been made there, unless you are a person that falls into the exemption of the 4 categories that I listed. Okay, and when we talk about someone wanting to make a refugee claim, they have to do so at any of Canada's port of entry. So whether that be you're traveling by car, bus, train, airplane, whatever, you can make that claim at the port of entry if you are eligible to do so. Okay, there are also other people who are not able to make a refugee claim, and I will just throw it up on the screen so you guys can see who those people are. Okay, this concludes our video for today, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed the content. If you have any questions for me, please leave it below in the comment section. Just remember to like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll be the first to know whenever there's a new video uploaded. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and I will see you on the next video, guys. Bye.